Hey everybody, welcome to another review. Before I begin, if you wouldn't mind, please like, subscribe, and share if you enjoy these videos. Also, if you want to help the show financially, my Patreon info is in the description down below. And with all of that out of the way, let's get to this review. So Firefly Lane is a show on Netflix that stars Katherine Heigl as Tully and Sarah Chalke as Kate. The show switches back and forth between the present and past, showing their friendship from teens all the way into their 40s. And that's the gist. So I only watched this show out of curiosity. I wanted to see if Katherine Heigl was good or not. I watched her in Grey's Anatomy and I hated her character in that, and the last movie I saw her in was Unforgettable, and I hated her character in that as well. But to be fair, I hated the whole movie. It was so bad. But anyways, she's the reason I watched the show, and I have to say that Katherine Heigl and her character story was the best part of the show. It's just too bad that it wasn't the whole show. Firefly Lane feels like two different shows that have been smashed together. You have Kate's story, which is a woman dealing with a recent divorce. She's trying to deal with her daughter during the divorce. She's trying to learn how to be independent again. She's trying to get back into the working world and navigate her dating world. Then you have Tully's story, the more interesting story. Tully lived with her grandma until her drug addict mother showed up one day and took her away. This is when she moves to Firefly Lane across the street from Kate. Tully goes through the ups and downs of trying to become a news reporter and eventually getting her own daytime talk show. Drugs, sex, relationship drama, abandonment issues, and a whole lot of other things are part of her story. If you split up the show, their scene time, including their lives, is probably 60-40, with Tully taking most of the screen time. But I think it should have been 90% Tully because she has the richer story. It's more interesting and captivating. Kate's story mostly feels sad and boring in the beginning. There are other stories here and there that have to do with other people in their lives, but I don't think they add enough to justify them in the show, especially Kate's brother. We are never given an explanation as to how he ended up in the present time, but that makes sense because presentation is Firefly Lane's ultimate downfall. First off, it takes too long to start going. The beginning episodes are slow and uninteresting. There are plenty of shows that present the mundane in an interesting way, but this show fails to do that. I just didn't care what was going on for so long, and the pace really didn't pick up until maybe the 8th episode. Another issue is how the show skips around and just skips scenes altogether. There seems to be gaps missing where supposed conversations or actions happen in the show and we just don't see them. Tully insults Kate during their first interaction, but then they are cool the next time we see them. Why? Kate gets upset at Tully because she believes her parents like Tully better, but we were never shown any scenes where Kate felt inferior to Tully in regards to her parents. Tully has somewhat of a scandal happen while she's on her show, but we never go back to that again. I guess it just happened and we're supposed to move on. One time Tully's show producer tells her a guest is coming on her show. They introduce us to the guest and Tully hates him, but they build up the scene and then cut to a non-related scene. When we get back to Tully, the producer is telling her the execs loved your on-air banter. But what banter? We didn't get to see any banter. The most annoying cut is when Kate literally spends scene after scene talking and thinking about her new love interest, but then all of a sudden the show decides that she wants to be with her ex-husband. That might be a spoiler, but I don't care. I hated the decision. It made no sense because she had moved on. Who chopped the scene out where she had second thoughts? This is what the show's biggest problem is. I liked most of the characters, but I didn't buy a lot of the relationships. I believe the younger version of Kate and Tully were actual friends. The older versions were the issue. Most people know what best friends look like. You have chemistry, a way of talking, inside jokes, and so on. They had none of these. They were only friends because the show told me they were friends. Kate and her soon-to-be ex-husband never seemed like they were ever really married. It's not until the 10th episode where we get to see them have some type of chemistry. Honestly, for most of the show, I don't think the guy even knew he was getting a divorce. He says he's sad, but he doesn't act like he's sad. But the show wants us to believe he's sad. Near the beginning of the show, he hints that he should have been with another woman altogether, but then he says he's going to miss being with his wife later. I don't understand, show. Make this make sense. I didn't even believe Kate's daughter was her daughter. They made her so one note. She's just a mad teen that's upset with her mom and blaming her for the divorce. It gets old fast. Actually, Kate's daughter and Kate's brother were both pretty one note, basically mean to Kate for no reason. The two characters that had the best chemistry in the show were Tully and her love interest Max. That was the first connection I actually believed, but it takes a while for the show to get to their relationship. I also enjoyed Kate and her love interest, but the show unfortunately decides to tell us about their previous interactions instead of actually showing us, which it does multiple times. Tell, not show. To sum this all up, Firefly Lane fails in the storytelling department. It ultimately struggles from an identity crisis. Does it want to be a show about a single mom learning how to date again, or a self-absorbed, self-destructing woman dealing with drama in a TV world? The show moves at a snail's pace and meanders too many times as if it has to fill space in order to reach a specific time limit. And too often the show cuts away from far more interesting storylines to dull storylines that kill its momentum. Though I think Katherine Heigl does a fantastic job and really delivers an interesting story, I personally wouldn't suggest watching Firefly because the rest of the show is lackluster. Two random things I want to talk about before I close out this review. One I can show and one I can't show because it's kind of a spoiler. First thing, I know this woman did not just put her nasty shoes on her friend's bed. There is no way you can guarantee me that you have never stepped in a puddle of street pee with those shoes on before. Have you lost your mind? I would ban my friend from my house. That's disgusting. Second thing, a character gets shot in the arm. I'm not going to show who it is because, like I said before, it would be a spoiler, even though I'm not suggesting that you watch the show. But anyways, this person heals up pretty fast and they say it's because the bullet went straight through. For those who don't know, when someone says a bullet went straight through, that means it entered your body and came out the other side. A lot of shows and movies use this line when someone gets shot in the arm, the leg, or the stomach. Here's why it didn't make sense in this show. The character got hit from the side. So if the bullet went straight through their arm, it would go through their chest. So how would that work? The line makes no sense. But that's all, peoples. Please let me know if you have already watched Firefly Lane and tell me your thoughts. Let's have a conversation down in the comments. Also, let me know what else you want me to review. If you didn't like the review, or even if you did and you think there is something I can improve on, please let me know what I need to change, add, or take out so that I can make a better review next time for you. Once again, please like and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. Thanks for watching, listening, and supporting. God bless. I'll talk to you later.